Charles from haltsboots here, and today I'm reviewing the Adidas Copa Mundial team. So I was gonna title this video Your Dad's Favorite Boots or something like that, but being that I am now called a unk or have unk status, as all the college kids say that I play with, I felt that wasn't appropriate anymore because I'm getting to that age where maybe it's time to switch to the Copa Mundial team. That being said, I was actually really impressed by the Copa Mundial team. I've never been a guy to wear turf boots until rather recently, and now I think I'm going to be doing a lot more reviews because I actually really enjoyed how these felt on a really crappy pitch, and it was pretty comfortable. So definitely gonna be doing more reviews on turf boots. Now, this boot has been around for a very long time. I couldn't really figure out when this boot was released. I know the original Copa Mundial was released around 81 or 80 or 79, and it was in preparation for the 82 World Cup. So it's pretty much a household staple name. Anybody who plays football knows about the Copa Mundial, whether it's the turf version or the stud version. And it's an iconic boot, and honestly, it is super, super comfortable. Now, weight-wise, this boot does come in at 360 grams per boot. And it's one of the heavier boots you'll probably ever wear, even for turf standards. This is a chunker. Even the outdoor Copa Mundial is a bit heavier than normal too. Now, boots don't make the players, but I've never really seen somebody going just all out, playing like Neymar or whatever in these. So at the end of the day, weight really won't be a problem, but it is something you might notice at first. But with how comfortable these boots are, it's something you either just one, learn to ignore, or two, just don't even think about. Now, the price point for the Copa Mundial team comes out to around 160 USD, if I got that right. Yep, about 150 euros, and I think 125 Great British pounds or 130, somewhere in there. Definitely an expensive boot, but for what it is, how comfortable it is, the durability, the performance, everything like that, I believe they are well priced. You won't need a new pair anytime soon when you purchase these. And same for the outdoor version as well, the Copa Mundial, just FG. They're pretty durable boots. They last a long time. I had a teammate in college who had his pair for years, and I think finally ripped them his last year of college or something like that. As for the outsole slash sole plate, you can see that there is a lot of studs. I think that's really good for turf boots. The more studs you have, the better, and the shorter they are, the better, as long as they're not too short, because then you'll slip everywhere. But these are very, very conical, very neutral, and very easy on the joints in general, as long as you're not cutting super hard or anything like that. I felt it very, very responsive. I never slipped once in this sole plate on turf, and it's really everything you could want from a turf sole plate. There's not a whole lot you can really do to complicate them. I originally shot B-roll for back in January when it was super, super cold out. I believe I shoveled off the turf pitch, not a really big area, but enough to try to film some B-roll. And you know, this sole plate held its own for the most part. I do think that I maybe slipped once or twice. I'll see if I can find some and I'll put it in here, but regular turf, I did a little bit of B-roll outside a few days ago. Had no issues there. When I played with this, I play a lot of like arena, like 6-a-side with walls. Wore these a ton for that in trainings, practices, games, and didn't have any issues at all in terms of that traction in the sole plate. So if you're looking for something that's really gonna give you good grip out there, not gonna be too bad on the joints, then this is gonna be one of the Outsole's sole plates to go with. Now, the upper is what I consider the best feature of this boot. It is super soft, super comfortable, super plush. It is leather. I don't know if it's calfskin or K-leather. I got these for free, and so I'm not really sure where they bought them from, so I can't really confirm that, but I've seen a couple different switch ups on a couple major brands where they say it's leather and then it's the fake leather and then vice versa. So these are definitely calfskin or K-leather. From how soft they are, I want to say K-leather. Touch feels great in this boot. You know, the entire upper and kind of like heel counter here is all leather as well. You also have like the leather 3 stripes on the boot as well. And on the bottom of the upper here towards the toe box, you can see it is all felt or suede. This suede material here just really helps reinforce the boot from separating at the toe. Now, back in the day when really turf boots became popular in the United States, most of them have some sort of feature like this. A lot of boots today have a feature like this, just to kind of help keep the boot together. If you've ever worn any sort of like studded boots on turf, you know that turf just absolutely eats boots alive. So this extra reinforcement here just really helps keep the longevity of the boot. The heel counter here is all leather, like I said. It's not as soft, and it has a really reinforced heel cap, so it's not very pliable. You can't really push it down at all. Don't really think that's a bad thing, especially when you see a lot of older people who really just like to play for fun or coach are wearing these. You don't need to worry about that heel as much. You want something that's going to be a lot more solid and keep kind of everything together. I wouldn't say that this prevents any sort of injuries, but it definitely When I wear something with a higher heel cup here, just a more reinforced heel in general, I feel a lot more comfortable, at least for my joints. One thing that was strange is I could not strike a ball in these to save my life. I could keep them on the ground, but anything I tried to really put in the air, I struggled with unless I kind of like wrapped my foot around it. Now, it could just be because I'm not that great of a player, but I don't know why I had this issue. I don't know if it's because these boots are a little big on me, and I'll get into that more in a little bit. But I just couldn't do it. So I don't know if I was just a mental block of not wanting to like kick the ground really hard or drag the toe or something. But other than that, everything else felt great, passing, whatever. Even when I played in games, I've shot the ball and been able to actually strike it. So really just weird thing, but really recent on my brain. So I just wanted to share that. Sizing is up next, and it's a little tricky for the Copa Mundial team. Now, in my outdoor version of the Copa Mundial, my studded pair, they are an 8. And this is a 9. Like I said earlier, I got these for free, and a 9 US, pretty much brand new, couldn't turn it down. Probably figured it'd be a little bit big, but it was definitely very big on me. I think I have a video just of me showing it's about a thumb's width or thumb's length in the toe, and that's not really what you want. You want them pretty snug, or at least I do. Definitely would go down at least half a size, maybe even a full size, but it's really hard to pass up a free pair of boots that are close to your size, right? So just for sizing, go at least a half a size down. This is one of the few times I'll say this, maybe even a full size down. The Copa Mundial team is probably one of the most comfortable boots I've ever worn. Granted, it was a little bit big, and I feel like if you wear something a little big, it can give you a false sense of security when you get your real size. But with how plush this leather upper is here, I know for a fact that this is one of the most comfortable boots I've ever worn. You can never go wrong with K leather or leather boots in general. The width is really decent. You know, I'm gonna have to size down at least by half, but even then I still think that it wouldn't be too much of an issue. And even the kind of insole here, even though it's not removable, it's not very thick, it sits on this really nice foam cushion here. And it is a thicker foam, it's no Ultra Boost foam, but it does provide some comfort when just running around, when playing, especially if you wear these coaching, reffing, whatever. Now, I will say you do feel elevated in these. It's a little bit strange being a little higher up than you're normally used to. I feel like there might be a little bit higher of a risk factor for just rolling your ankle or something like that. It is a little strange for the first minute or two getting used to it, but then afterwards you just forget about it, to be honest. So overall, comfort is about as good as it gets. I mean, even the tongue is leather. It's basically just foam that's got leather slapped on top of it. I didn't talk about the tongue much. Now, it is a fold over tongue. Like if you fold it over, it's meant so you can see the Adidas logo. And then if it pops up, you know, you have the Adidas logo on the front as well. Right here, I don't know if I really mind this tongue. It doesn't flop around as much as you think it would. And I'm sure you could honestly just go to a cobbler shop and get some sort of strap put on. You know, I've seen people do it. The only thing is straps on turf boots or indoor boots don't really last at all. When I spoke about pricing earlier, I briefly mentioned durability, and these boots are tanks. Now, granted, I've had them for several months. I've reffed in them, I've played games in them, I've trained in them. There's not really anything that shows me these have been worn other than just cosmetics. Like there's no real tearing anywhere, there's no rips, there's no stitches that are even frayed. Even the OG Copa Mundial studs, they don't even really rip often. They last a couple years. I know guys who've had them for a very long time. Some people, you know, even back in the day, you used to really have 1 or 2 pairs of boots from what I understand, especially in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and you needed a pair that was gonna last a while, and back then people made stuff, they had pride in it, unlike all the crap we have now that rips after 3 months and you need to get a new pair, right? So if you're looking for a long-term turf boot, something that's gonna last you a while, you're not gonna have to worry about replacing anytime soon, the Copa Mundial team is going to be one of the pairs you wanna pick up. One thing I did wanna talk about real quick is on the size tag, it says made in Indonesia. They used to make all of the Copas, at least the FG versions, in Germany. That's why I kinda wore my Germany jersey today, and it's actually made in Indonesia, which isn't a big deal. I was in a soccer shop that was closing down in Fort Wayne, Indiana, 5, 6 years ago now, and they had all these big sizes of Copas. I'm talking like 14, 15, 16, even like a size 17 that have been sitting there for so long. One of the pairs was actually manufactured in West Germany. So it was crazy to see that. I wish I would have picked that up just to have a time capsule, but I also didn't want a pair that was size 16 or whatever. My overall thoughts for the Copa Mundial team are pretty simple. They're comfortable, they are durable. You know, if you get the right size, you're not gonna have any pain or issues. And it's a boot I think everybody should have. Most of us who play football, soccer, whatever you want to call it, have coached, reffed, play a lot on turf, and this is just a staple pair you can have that's gonna last forever. I'm not saying wear them all the time, but if you can find a deal on these, and there's always deals on Unisport or soccer.com or eBay or wherever, even finding a lightly used pair, I think you should pick them up. So overall, these are a 10 out of 10 boot. Get a pair. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you like this video, please make sure to check out the rest of the channel and all the other reviews I've done. Like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.